Hey.
Hey, hello.
What's going on, guys? My name is Tom.
From Dreadlabs.
You should just tell your name
and I'm
first.
Gabi from Dreadlabs.
Yes. Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. It's been a while since we did one together, right?
Yeah, I think 2 months ago.
Probably, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, like you may have already seen from the thumbnail, we are going to talk about how to make friends in real life with the same creative passions as you. We've written down a couple of tips because we've been kind of in the same position. At least I am. I don't know if you have been.
I've been.
And we are fortunate enough that we are now living in a city where there's like creativity all around us.
Mm-hmm.
And you are like literally attending a university which has the best creative community, I think, in all of the Netherlands.
Yeah, and a big connection with the creative scene in the Netherlands.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We are kind of like out of that position right now, but we've been there and we know the struggle. Especially when we were younger, probably because we both come from like pretty small towns where it's like.
I think it's never wrong to make new friends.
Definitely.
Or make contact with new people.
Yeah. Some of the tips that I've learned from a guy called Ben. He has a podcast called Shut Up Brain, and he did like an episode a while ago. It was called like How to Make Friends as an Adult, which I found really interesting because it's so hard to make friends as an adult.
It is.
Remember when you were a kid, you just walked up to someone like, "Can I join you?" And then you were just friends, like all of a sudden.
I was on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously it doesn't work like that as an adult anymore,
No.
sadly. But anyways, what's up, Todd? How are you doing, man? We're just gonna talk about these things, and if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the chat, and we can discuss it. And share us your thoughts, and let us know what you think of all of our points, I guess.
Yeah.
And overall, let's have a good time. See if we can teach you guys something. It would be really cool to have you join the conversation in the chat, and
maybe you have some tips for us.
And if you have any other tips that you want to share with other people in the community, you can leave them in the chat, and maybe afterwards on the Discord if you haven't joined yet. So shall we just get started?
Yeah, let's go.
So the way that I kind of broke it down is I've asked this question on my Instagram live story a while ago, and I think I asked it yesterday on YouTube. And one of the main problems that I heard a lot of people have was, I live in a small town, to which we both can relate to, right?
Very small.
Yeah. So I think both of our towns that we grew up in were like under 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Maybe mine's bigger now. I'm not sure.
You live in a bigger village than me.
Yeah. But like they weren't like cities or anything.
No.
And we both had to like travel with public transport to cities if we wanted to, like for example for school or whatever.
The best.
Anyways, that's a common problem, and I think that's the main thing where, because you are living in a small town, obviously there aren't a lot of people there, so the chance is lower that you'll find people with the same interests as you. Especially if you're like interested in a very specific niche, like maybe like a design here at Dreadlabs, maybe like music production. Maybe fashion.
Yeah.
I know I always was like looked at weird in my town because I was dressing like kind of differently than other people.
Oh, same. Because like in my town, it's almost only old people.
Yeah. So and also like super very Christian, so probably like quite traditional as well.
Yeah, I remember one time a friend from school was visiting me, and she stayed the night from Saturday till Sunday. And it was very hot the next day, and she wore a jeans shorts and just a tank top, and it was Sunday. And she walked to the bus stop, and she walked past one of the churches we have, and everybody was looking like, and I know she called me like, what is this? And because she lived in the city and she never experienced it.
So you can say that you come from a pretty traditional or conservative town, I guess.
It's a very nice town. Though.
Yeah, it's a nice town, but if you are like a creative or maybe you're like a little bit different than anyone else, it's hard to make friends or find friends for that matter. We got like 4 tips The first one is start small, and you should probably look for like similar interests than something that you do. You know, like if you're a music producer, there's probably like a high chance that like the same people that do like maybe like analog synthesis or something, there's a very slight chance that people will do that in a small town, you know. So maybe it's the best thing to just maybe like go to like a bar or maybe to like a smaller venue and see if there's anyone like interested in music in general there. Same goes for art or design, you know, like if there's maybe there's like a printing company where you can just like print your posters and maybe you'll meet someone there. Maybe there's like a smaller museum or something, or an art show that has like maybe like art that's not maybe like 100% your thing, but at least you're meeting like an artist there, or you're meeting like a musician or someone there, you know. So or maybe like even like a hobby shop, you know, like I'm interested in building Gunpla, basically building model kits. There's probably like a hobby shop or something along those lines, and maybe like the people won't have the exact same like interests, but it's at least it will like, I don't know, start a bond with someone, I guess, right?
Yeah, you have almost the same interest, but not like the specific interest.
Yeah.
And I think you both have the same problem with finding people who, how do you say it? Who you can level with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like one of my friends, like from when I was like 15 or 16. I still speak to him regularly, but we don't live in the same town anymore. But he was also a music producer, and I produced like all kinds of music, but he produced like mainly hardstyle, which was at the time like something that I used to like, but I didn't really do it anymore. But regardless, we got along pretty well because we both like were into music production, you know. We talked about software, we talked about like stuff like that, you know. So it was like really fun to have someone at least like knowing of the same things.
Yeah. I think almost every friendship is kind of in the same way, but not like specific on being creative. But if you look at my friends, if you see us walking down the street, we don't particularly look like each other. Yeah, we look very different, but on some levels we have the same.
That's the cool thing about friendships, you know. Like you don't have to have like it would be really cool to have a friend that has like a complete all of the same like interests, but it's just not gonna be like that. And like try to lower your standards in terms of like finding this specific niche, and see if the general interest in a certain hobby or something you like is there.
And maybe you like it if the other.
And maybe you'll end up liking something that someone else is into. Yeah, like that's what I have with like my friend Kaz. He's like into all kinds of music, and I'm not really into like acoustic music, like bands and stuff. But he kind of makes me like listen to some stuff, or you know, like see or like appreciate it, I guess. Yeah. You know,
even if you look at us, we have
completely different styles.
And I make you listen to Dutch music. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate it when I drink alcohol. Anyways, let's look at the chat for a while. So yeah, you can see our screen, but we have 3 chats on the screen right now. Anyways, what's up, everyone? We are from the Netherlands. 13 Doug. Let's see, Wigwam, I don't know what that means. What's up, Xiao? How are you doing, man?
Hello, Xiao.
Legends say Gabi and Tom are the number 1 couple in the Netherlands.
It's not a legend, it's a true story.
Yeah. No. For maybe like that one. I mean, you keep that list, right? Like who's the best couple of the Netherlands, and basically you put us on the top.
Yeah, but we're very competitive, so...
No one else is on the list.
No.
That's how good we are.
Yes.
Anyways, welcome everyone. What's up, Outdated Man? How are you doing? So the gin tonic, I drank a lot of gin tonic on Monday.
I spilled it.
And she
Gabi it was spilled it was in the same glass, and I spilled it all over the table.
And
we should get rid of them.
What?
Of the glasses.
Yeah, it was actually like the same glass that got the spill on like my laptop a few streams ago. If someone hasn't seen that. Anyways, and you are a little bit hungover, right?
Yeah, not a bit, a little bit.
Did you drink gin tonic or not?
No, we did. No, we went to a cafe, and the name in Dutch is like slagroom.
It's
whipped cream.
Whipped cream. That's
it's
the
a
name.
Very weird name, but they have a special shot, and it's vodka infused with whipped cream, and we eat that and beers and wine. And
Too much.
So if I'm a little bit slow.
So Vlad is saying, I'd say get an intern-like job or a volunteer in the field you're interested in. That's also a very good tip. Yeah.
It is. I wish I did that with my internship.
Yeah, do a little bit more specific into the things you are into. Yeah. So that kind of like blends into our second point there, and that's like see if there's anything creatively to do in this town or city close by, or in Vlad's tips case, a company. Lower your standards here, because like probably you're not like in a town nearby. You're probably also not gonna find someone who does like maybe, I don't know, 90s rave graphic design or like modular synthesis or Gunpla or whatever. Just again see if there's any art galleries there you can join. Maybe talk to like the artists themselves.
Festivals.
Some festivals, maybe like some events. Now that at least here in the Netherlands it's kind of like opening up again. I hope it's the same in your country.
Finally.
Finally. But to give you a couple of examples, is one that I did was I've driven to a Gunpla store that's like a few towns over. I think it's like maybe like a 20-minute drive by car. And I just walked up there, and I kind of started like talking to the owner, like vibing, and like I was like, oh, I'm so happy I live close by to someone who actually sells Gunpla and stuff like that. So it was kind of fun, and it wasn't like that he was a graphic designer or he wasn't really like that much into the same stuff as me, but there was at least one thing we had in common, and it was like building model kits and robots and stuff. It was kind of fun, and it's not that we're like friends now or anything, but it was nice to just like reach out at that point. And then there's also Dance Fair, which is like a as some of you might know, I have also been like a music producer for like, that was like my main hobby for like a very long time. And then there's in Utrecht, which is like in Utrecht. It's like a big city, like in another part of the Netherlands. Like I live in the very south, and then there's and Utrecht is in the middle. So it's quite a drive, and with like public transport, it will probably take me like 2 hours, maybe even 3. Depends on like the transit stuff. I went there, and it's basically like a lot of people from all over the Netherlands, even from Germany and Belgium, like coming together, talking about like musical gear, listening to seminars of famous DJs or producers, marketing stuff, demo drops for labels. So basically like a whole big conference on music producers, which is really fun to go to and to talk to other people. And I've made a couple of friends there, to which I regularly talk to now. So for example, I met Ricky on Dance Fair. Ricky West.
Really? Nice. I thought you already worked with him.
I've heard of his stuff on SoundCloud, and like we kind of like we vaguely like knew each other, like like I saw his stuff and he saw mine, and we both realized we were from the Netherlands, but we haven't really spoken. Yeah. And it's also like really weird to just like send someone a Facebook message like, "Hey, how are you?" or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
We kind of met there, and like we started talking, we started vibing, and then one thing led to another. We were like, we should do a collab, and then I just like came over to his house like a couple of weeks later, and then that's where the friendship really started. And we still talk regularly. Yeah.
But it hasn't to be. It has not to be that big. Even like if you go to if you love fashion, you can go to a clothing shop. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe like vintage fashion. There's always like
I went to Amsterdam. Yeah. With the zipper. Yeah. We were going to the magazine.
They have like a warehouse.
Oh yeah, warehouse.
It wasn't like a warehouse sale, but you can like, because of the COVID thing, you could just book an appointment.
Yeah, and they normally make events out of it. Yeah. You can buy tickets and then you can come there. Mm-hmm. I think you buy a ticket for €10 and you get the €10 as a shopping. Yeah. Store credit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun as well, because we ended up like talking to the cashier there, and that really worked.
Yeah, but even smaller.
Yeah, and it was like I'm into fashion and you're into fashion, but it was like It's just nice to also
Yeah.
like if you cannot make any friends out of it, it's still nice to go to a place where it might possibly happen, because you end up feeling pretty good about yourself anyway, because you've done something that you like in real life.
Like we did on a vacation last year, we went to Maastricht, and there was that street restaurant you really liked, and you were vibing with the two guys working there.
Yeah. We were just like talking, we were on a road trip to the Netherlands, and then just a 5-minute conversation. I've never spoken to them, but it was nice. Yeah. So let's see what the chat is up to, because I think we have a couple of more tips from people in the chat. So Outdated is saying, what I do is just conversate, and it's not necessary to have friends in the same niche. Since you should explore the world, you have a whole life to live. It's like an answer. Yeah, that's a very deep answer, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it is.
It's and like we said in the beginning of the video, over time you can also like grow into each other's interests some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also DJ, and he's saying, today, after talking to / giving advice to a guy from a Discord virtual production group for a few months, I went to meet him at a startup company founded in Berlin, and I ended up meeting the whole company, and they are now offering me to join it. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
This is like a proper like example on like becoming friends with someone and reaching out and doing and ending up something that you probably love.
Yeah, you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
if I guess DJ was, I think I will be very nervous in that situation.
Yeah, I can imagine that it will be pretty intense, like meeting someone you've never seen before. But now, and the cool part is, like, if you end up taking the job, you'll probably end up with like a lot of very good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is on this small town thing. We also have like make plans to visit the creative city for a short while, maybe for a holiday or maybe for the day. See if you can do any workshops or visit specific places. It's kind of what we already talked about. And I have one more example for that. I don't know if you maybe have one as well. But I've also, like, in October, I went to a screen printing workshop in Amsterdam, all by myself. So it was pretty scary because I didn't know anyone, and I was like kind of a noob. And the cool part was, like, I ended up being the only graphic designer who actually went to the screen printing thing, and I was also the youngest person there. But then, like, there was like this person, and he was like a little bit older, I think, but he was still like very interested in what I did. And then, like, we just talked, and he was like more into like, I'm just like exploring different workshops and see if there's a hobby in there or something. And it was just really nice to talk to someone while doing anything and doing something. So yeah, doing workshops or like visiting other cities, stuff like that, also would probably work really well.
I always get a little bit nervous for my workshops.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It can be scary, like mentally.
Yeah, because everybody is watching you, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's the first time, so you don't know if you're gonna be good at it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. Like, that's the cool thing. That's the thing of these like workshops. You kind of have to dive into it, like, not expecting to be the best at it or expecting to do something. Like, it's not school. You're probably gonna follow the workshop anyway because you're new to it, you know. And most of the people will probably be new to it as well.
Yeah, it is. Or they will be.
So yeah, it's but I get like I also get like nervous sometimes and stuff like that.
Oh, another example, like also the vacation. We did a road trip to the Netherlands, and I always wanted to visit Groningen, the museum. We did a workshop there.
It's a graphical museum in Groningen, which is at the very, very north of Netherlands. So it's very far drive. You cannot just go there in one day.
Oh, like a Dutch long drive is different than
it's
American
probably different
drive.
in your country because the Netherlands is very small. But like it was you cannot
hours,
just, if you want to go there, you have to stay the night or something.
Yeah. It's a 4-hour drive, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. And then
with public transport, even longer.
Yeah. So yeah, you cannot just go there and then drive back, I guess.
No.
But yeah, we ended up there doing a workshop. Yeah.
That you sell on your
actually, that's a very fun story. We.
I think it was the first, one of the first items you sold.
I think there were like maybe 3 or 4 in the web store already, but yeah. So if you guys have seen that, it's let me see. There was I think it was in the July or something, August maybe.
Very hot.
We were at the graphical museum, and then we did like a workshop in
Water modeling.
water liquid marbling, like
Yeah.
the marble paint thing.
Very
And
sick.
those are actually the textures that you can buy on Dreadlabs.net right now. So
I've made them.
Yeah, me and Gabi made them together, and
Yeah.
it was a very fun experience. And there was also like someone like guiding us, and she was also like a really nice person, and we talked for a bit. And
Yeah.
she was a volunteer there at the museum. So there's also like
she did a creative study.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
she did something with design or art or
Communication,
something.
I guess. Communication with art. Marketing with art.
Something like that.
We almost did the same. We had some leveling.
And the cool part is like if it was a little bit closer, or maybe you would plan on like starting to live closer to that city, you could probably become friends with this person. So that's a very cool way to start meeting people with at least like something similar of interest, I guess. Which comes to our last like fairly quick point, I guess. See if you can start a study or start like living in a town or city where it's like the nice creative scene, you know, like I moved from Dommelen to Tilburg. And, you moved like from Sprankapelle, the like conservative town, to Tilburg. And there's like well, like we said in the beginning of the video, your school is here, and that makes for a very vibrant creative scene, especially in the event sector, I guess.
And it's a student city.
Yeah, and there's also like a lot of students, so there's enough to do, and there's not enough people to meet. And even if you don't have like the money to do a full-on study, maybe you can find like an international minor to do somewhere. You don't even have to do a study to follow a minor most of the times, because
Or just live here.
or just maybe live here.
work.
You know, you don't even have to like buy a house or something.
Yeah.
Maybe like renting like a smaller room or something. See if you can maybe even network and get a job in something that you like.
Yeah.
And, you know?
Stay together. Just a weekend. Or stay a weekend there.
Yeah, and that's what
Or a few months. An internship.
Yeah, definitely. Like I went on holiday to Berlin for a week, and it was like one of my favorite like places to go ever, and I definitely want to go back there. And I reckon if I would live in Berlin, there will probably like a lot of people who I want to become friends with, you know. So let's just see what the chat is up to. I guess, right?
Yeah.
So there's. Let me just start with Mayank Raj. I will do more cinema 4D tutorials in the future, but for now it's podcast time. Anyways, Xiao is firstly saying, I'd say sometimes you don't need friends to have the same passion friends. I know nobody in my town is into graphic art or even music taste, and yet we share our passions that we love. Yeah, that's the cool part too, you know, like my friend group from my like the town I used to live in, or in high school. Yeah, those people like
elementary school.
Yeah, and I have a couple of friends like who just come over and we drink beers and like we play games or whatever, and that's also fine, you know. But so it's not necessary, but it's also really cool if you have really good friends. You can also just like, I guess.
Yeah, and you grew up with them.
Yeah, you grow up with them. Yeah.
So they know you.
So then Dan Dawson is saying all the good electronic music left my city. I had to drive 2 hours for good music.
Ooh.
Ouch. Yeah, that's the pain, you know. Like and that's basically why we do this podcast, to give you a couple of tips on how to get there, I guess, you know.
And maybe if you miss it, maybe you can start it again.
Yeah, maybe like you can even start maybe teaching like younger people to get into the same music or something, you know.
Yeah, organize some music events if it's possible with COVID.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to like be a party or something. You can throw a party always, but maybe like I said, like a conference, like learning people how to do certain things or on Fruity Loops or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? There's plenty of DJ schools or producer schools here in the Netherlands as well.
But we are the Netherlands. So
okay. There's something in the water here.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Zhao is saying, a legit question, opinions on Den Haag. I applied for an internship there.
Nice.
So there, Den Haag is like somewhat known for like some like white trash people sometimes, but it's like a very particular like
not really
district.
Not really, no, though.
Like
yeah, but it's like a very small part.
Yeah, it's like a very small district, but
because many of Dutch YouTubers I follow live in Den Haag.
Yeah, I think Den Haag is also like
it's gonna be it's upcoming, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think it's like the most affordable city near Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Something like that, probably.
But I think Den Haag is with Scheveningen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a very nice beach.
Yeah, a lot of nice beach clubs, and
And
the
with
cool part is you're also very close to like other cool cities like Rotterdam and Amsterdam.
Like the Dutch public transport is very good.
Yeah, especially in like that district because
Yeah.
it's like the metropolis part of the Netherlands.
It is.
So
You have a bus, a metro.
yeah, but it's really easy to get from city to city there, and it doesn't
Yeah.
really take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, then DJ saying, yeah, I lived in London and it was a struggle, expensive to live, depressing, not many opportunities. Moving to Berlin gave me so much more freedom. Oh, that's also really cool, and kudos to you for like moving to another country, because that can be rough mentally. Like it can probably also be quite lonely, but that's the cool part. If you find people to become friends with, and like that loneliness fades, then something really beautiful can bloom out of it. That's really cool. And then there's Valentine in the chat. How are you doing?
Hi, Valentine.
So Valentine is my former intern. Anyway, so Lolo Edwards is saying, would you collaborate with fashion magazines? That would be really cool. I hope to get Dreadlabs or like a clothing brand to one day like be in a fashion magazine. And it would be really cool to do like art direction or something like that.
Because that's like one of the things you really like, directing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Art
like
director. Art directing.
Art direction and
Art
like
direction.
working on stuff that doesn't like I do love like designing, but I really like it when it's like more than just digital a digital application, you know, like
Thinking about the concept.
yeah, and also like and having the concept end up like being on print or being on I don't know, like actual physical work, you know, fashion, printing, maybe like even I don't know, events, stuff like that. But I'm working on stuff like that in the background, so just for myself, I guess. More on that later. Exciting.
I already know what it is.
Yeah. What's up, Swan? Hi to you too, man. So all right, so the second most like brought up like problem that people had was like I find it hard to keep a conversation with someone. Like let's say that you are living in a city and you are going to an art gallery, and then finding it hard to keep a conversation with someone. Yeah, that is hard.
It is.
Especially like
I hate small talk.
Yeah, and also like I don't
very bad at it.
We are also pretty like
awkward.
I feel like we're like we can be like outgoing people, but on general I'm kind of like an introvert, I guess. And I guess you are. You can switch. Sometimes you're like very extrovert, and sometimes you're introvert.
How did I say it on like the second date? And
I don't remember.
Wat ik. Een extravagante introvert.
Oh yeah. She's an extravagant. She's an outgoing introvert.
Yeah. I really like my alone time.
Yeah.
But I love being with my friends.
And I discovered like at one point in my life where it's like I thought I'd like to be alone, but I end up knowing that there's a difference between being alone and being lonely.
Yeah, it is.
And when I was in a place where I was lonely, that was like a turning point for me, I guess. Anyways, we have a couple of tips to keep a conversation. The number one topic that people want to talk about is themselves.
Selfish.
We are. But we are a selfish breed of animal, I guess. And it's also probably the reason why you want to make friends with the same creative passion as you. You know, like for example, when I enter a conversation with a stranger or someone, I cannot wait to bring up Dreadlabs. You know, because it's something that I do, and it's something that like takes a lot of. It's a big part of my life, and it's just, I want to share that with people, you know. And I reckon you have the same if you're a designer or a musician or whatever. So, and that's normal, you know. And even if you're not a creative person, then it's still like you want to talk about yourself and interests, and that's okay, and that's normal. So you don't have to feel like being like selfish
it is normal, because one of my friends did her study.
Psychology.
And she told me.
Yeah.
Like they did studies to forward about it.
Yeah, so if you're worried about that, don't worry.
Yeah. It's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
my grandfather always said, if you only think about yourself, everybody gets.
No one will be forgotten.
Yeah, it's not really great advice though, but
no, but still, it's a fun saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, so knowing that, like, if you were walk up to an artist or something at a conference or at an art show or whatever, ask them questions, you know, instead of like starting, hey, I am also a producer, blah blah blah. Maybe you're going. Maybe start by saying, "Oh, hey,
what do you do?
Yeah, what are you doing?" And maybe try to dig a little bit deeper. You know, like,
what are you working on? Why?
Yeah.
How did you start?
Who inspires you?
Yeah.
And then, like, they will probably like be really excited. You know, if they, I would probably be really excited if someone asked me that, and that will make for a very nice topic of conversation, and also like something that will be extended a little bit longer. And because this person will start talking about themselves and you have given them the opportunity to, there's a very big chance that they will also start asking you those questions back, you know. And if they will keep on talking after 20 minutes and you haven't said anything yet, then you can also just like take the wheel and start talking about your own creative passions, like, I am also a producer, and I also like this artist that you mentioned, stuff like that, you know. See if there's any common grounds there. And even if there aren't any common grounds, you can say like, oh, that's fine, I never heard of this artist, or you know, just like try to dig a little bit deeper than, oh, you're a designer, nice, you know, like it's also very important to be interested in the other person taking part of the conversation. Start smoking. Smokers always have easy combos. That's very, very true.
When we're at the club, when my friends go smoke, I don't smoke. I always come with them.
Yeah,
somebody asks, "Do you want a cigarette?" No, I don't smoke.
Definitely, yeah. But I remember like being an introvert. Like, I used to smoke, and then.
You don't have to smoke. It's not a.
No, it's
you
not.
can just go there.
But I was the other way around. Like, I was always like outside of a club or in like a smoking cabin, and I was also like I found it very hard when I was younger to keep a conversation, you know. So for me it was always like, what to say? This person is saying here, and I know we wrote here because we were smoking a cigarette or whatever. Or
how tastes your cigarette?
Is it nice?
Do you want some of mine?
Yeah. Also, the easiest one is need a light.
Yeah,
it
is. Thank you. Are you having a great night?
Why are you here? You know, like stuff like that.
Why are you here? Not really. Yeah. Why?
And who inspired you to be here?
Yeah.
Getting like the deepest conversation out of nowhere. Anyways, so another point is like, I guess this is even more difficult than it already like sounds, but if you walk up to 2 or 3 people that are already like know each other and having a conversation, like for example at a conference or an art show or whatever, see if you can walk up to them without being like kind of weird and just like, hey guys, what are you guys up to? You know, like, are you guys also producers, or are you here for a certain like talk, you know, like a talk from a producer, or are you interested in any gear? You know, like what brings you to this to this conference or to this art show or to this event or whatever. So yeah, that's one of them. Oh wow! So what's up, Andy? Thank you so much for the donation. That really helps us out. So thank you so much. Channel memberships aren't there yet, but we do have Patreon if you're interested in that, and you can get like. I guess like all of the project files from my tutorials. You get a Discord role with an exclusive channel, and if you want to, there's also some tiers where you can get access to the Dreadlabs Minecraft server if you're into that.
And starting your own fashion brand.
And then there's also like a higher tier up. You can also see some exclusive video content where I talk about like how to start a fashion brand. And basically, I'm starting a clothing brand from scratch. So if that's your thing, and you can also just watch that in its full like glory with like the resource files and everything. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. You too?
Yeah, I am really.
So yeah, let's see what the rest of the chat is up to. Some smoking jokes. So Trevor is saying, I live in the south of the US. It's a very bland, old type of creative stuff like bird paintings and grass, and I find it very hard for people to take me serious, mainly because I'm young. But how do I get past it? Yeah, that's basically what we talked about earlier in the podcast, I guess. Like, yeah, you should probably lower your standards a little bit, and then maybe see if there's like, I don't know what it exactly is, like the bird paintings, but maybe like yeah, I have no clue, but maybe like you can see if you can combine that with something that you like to do, you know, like maybe
if you like painting, you like the same technique.
Yeah, or maybe you can apply that technique to do something else, or
the brand of paint.
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk about that.
Yeah, and
or a trend that's happening, or
definitely, and the cool thing is if you show interest in them, and even if they're older people, they will probably also like start giving interest in you, because you can get like a mutual like friendly conversation going about it.
And most old people are very kind.
Yeah, definitely. Most. But yeah, then if there's one more tip that I want to give you guys in terms of keeping a conversation, and that's the one that I kind of found it out myself, and I think it's a very important one, and I keep using that same technique every single time, and it will help if you walk up to multiple people, if you're just you, and that's you should acknowledge that you're putting yourself in a vulnerable state, because if you walk up to someone in the car and I don't know, like and they're already having a conversation, and you just walk up to them and want to talk to them, you're putting yourself out there, and that makes you vulnerable. And you can try to acknowledge it and share that with other people to make it less awkward, and then they will also like start like feeling a little bit more empathy towards you generally. And that's for example, hey guys, I just moved in this city, and I just saw you guys, I don't know, like spraying graffiti. So is this something that you do regularly? And I just find it really cool to look at. So yeah, keep up the good work, you know. There's like this some sort of like network / thing called Boilers Hub in Tilburg, and I just went there myself.
I pushed you.
Yeah, she pushed me to, because I was really scared to go.
And like I already have friends here in Tilburg.
Yeah, and I was like kind of moving from further away.
Yeah, and you didn't know anybody except my friends.
And then there's, because of COVID, you couldn't really go out or something like that. So yeah, you were like, oh, you should just go there and see if it's something for you or not. And
it's like a place where people meeting place.
Yeah, and
creative hub, I think they call it.
Yeah. Basically what Dreadlabs is, but then like physical. And I just walked up there, and it was like started like, oh, I just moved in here, and I don't know any people yet, so I thought it might be cool to come here and talk to you guys, and they were like super friendly, and they just were generally very interested in what I did, and I could talk about Dreadlabs for a while, and then just ask them about what they did. So yeah, that was a very good conversation, and a good like starter to just like show them like, okay, I'm vulnerable right now, and you don't have to say like I'm vulnerable, but like saying you're new here, or saying that you're looking for like to make new friends, or maybe looking for people interested in music or something, you know, that will probably help.
Then you can say, I think it's a bit scary to make
friends.
And
I find it difficult, so. And
because
if you just
everybody
say like,
finds that, I think.
Yeah, and if you like walk up to someone and talk to them, like, and you're saying, oh, I find it very hard to do, but how are you doing this and that, and then they will probably also think it's really cool that they can help you, and they will generally feel like empathy towards you.
Yeah, it's like the first day of school. Everybody gets nervous.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good like example that probably everyone knows.
And we did it this afternoon when we went to the fitness center.
Yeah, we just signed up to become like members of a gym to lose some weight,
to get stronger. Yeah, and it was very not scary, but
it's also one of those things
you
where
are going there because you're not satisfied with how you look.
Yeah,
you want to look different. It's very scary to say that to somebody.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. It can be scary to ask for help.
Yeah, and that's the cool part. You put yourself in a vulnerable state, and they will acknowledge that and probably help you out. And they were like super friendly. We got like a tour there, and it was just a really nice like vibe. And we just like said, okay, now we'll go here, and maybe like in the gym you can also start making friends because it's like a low key, smaller gym.
So in the next video, you will have a 6-pack.
I hope so. Let's see what the chat is up to.
Live stream Friday.
Yeah. That's a little bit too much pressure to get it on Friday.
6-pack of beer.
13 Dog is saying podcast and starting a clothing brand someday. I think we can probably we did like a fashion episode already.
We did with me.
We did it together, and then but probably like once we are a little bit further into starting a clothing brand series, like there's a little bit more to talk about. Then I'm planning on talking to a couple of people who have either had their own clothing brand, or photographers, or people who know how to establish a brand or something. See if we can get any tips from those guests, and also just like talk about it and see if there's like a conversation there. Rafael Del Medico, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Are you think to do any masterclass or something like course? Actually, yeah. There's a couple of things that I've planned. So there is already like the starting a clothing brand series, which is like you can see recaps on YouTube, but you can view the full thing like if you become a Patreon. And I was also like thinking about doing like extremely detailed like starting an album cover from scratch videos, and then just like editing them and just making them as like sharing as much knowledge as possible in like one video or in one course. I see if maybe like Skillshare would be interested in that, or maybe just I would sell the packs myself on the website or something, you know. That's something that I'm really like preparing for the future. And then there's also like when I reach 100 Patreons, I promise to do one of those videos already, like to share with you as a celebration, I guess. So there's stuff coming. Then 2x4 is saying
so.
What?
I was reading it so different.
Oh, I know him. He's from Belgium.
I was reading like in English.
2x4.
Yeah, I thought, what? 2x4. I'm dyslexic, so don't judge me.
But he's saying just because the creative life is bland doesn't mean it isn't interesting. It could be very useful feedback to your work. Don't take it literal though. Yeah. I think this is in response to who said it? Trevor. Anyways, then DJ is saying get a job that forces you to interact with people. For example, bar work. When I worked in a pub, you meet a lot of creative people. Yeah, definitely. And then maybe just like look for a pub that's in like a district where like a lot of people, creative people, come together. You know, there's always like these.
Socializing is a skill you can train.
Yeah, definitely. And especially like that's the cool part. Like if you move to like a more creative district, especially like in Berlin or something, there are like just certain pubs where like certain like, people will come to. Yeah.
Like I hated small talk, but now I work in a clothing shop and I'm having small talk all the day. Yeah, and you are very good at it as well. Like I know you hate it, but you can do it properly. Yeah. How's the weather?
And it's also part of the freedom to work on your passion. Yeah, definitely. And also can probably be really inspiring as well. Like if you go home, you probably feel inspired because you've been talking to creative people all day. Then Hargan Kambo, also hope I pronounced your name correctly. Movie recommendation for graphic designers. I liked the episode by Paula Scher. Yeah. It's the Netflix series. What's it called again?
I don't know. Should I Google it?
Let me just look it up real quick. It also has like a couple of other like creative people there.
From Nike. I think they have episodes.
Yeah, and then there's also Abstract, the art of design.
We watch it for school.
Yeah, and then there's also like someone who is an illustrator, I think, and then there's a bio architect. Very cool. So yeah, it's not a movie, but it's a series. And then
I always like Disney and Pixar.
Because they have like the sickest art direction. If you watch those videos and like look into the storytelling or especially like the art direction is probably which one was it? Raja and the Lost Dragon or something?
It's I think it's the last one that came out.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, and it's a really, really good one. Like,
Yeah,
in terms of art direction, I
Yeah.
loved it. And then Daniel is asking me a very deep question. What does your art mean to you?
Ooh.
Wow. You want to go first?
I haven't been doing a lot of art last year, half year. But I've been busy with school, and like during COVID, I haven't been really creative. I guess so. It's a hard question now, but I think for me it is. What I like about doing art is shutting my brain off.
Yeah, you can just do,
Yeah.
especially when painting or something, right?
Yeah. And I really like painting. I think that's and,
It helps you really like relax,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
and I think that's why I don't like graphic design that much, because I need to think, oh, I need to click this button and do this, and
Yeah.
I like the result and I like doing it, but it's not
Yeah, it's different.
vrijheid.
It's and also like
Bevrijdend? How do you say?
freeing.
Freeing?
Also, like I
Not
think.
that freeing for me.
Yeah, and I
Not
think
that
also
freeing.
like how you are, the way you paint is also like a lot more forgiving than like pressing the wrong
Yeah.
button in Photoshop or
I get frustrated very quick. I'm very harsh on myself. If it's not good, I don't like it.
Yeah. So for me, what it means to me is I think. Well, the thing is, like, mainly through my art, I try to pay an homage to a certain era, and that era is mainly like the mid to late 90s and the early 2000s, which is also like a very popular trend right now. But the cool thing I like about art is that, especially thanks to Dreadlabs, has been I was able to create a community revolving around it while paying an homage to something that I really like, and also like one of the reasons why I also want to share my knowledge in terms of like meeting new people is that I actually are like I'm now in a digital community, and I hope one day in a physical community where I can just have more friends who love the same art or music as me, and just talking about it, and like I don't know, being around like people like that, and it just like it makes me feel so good that like I guess yeah, that's something that I want to reach with my art, if it's like for myself, I guess. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Nice answer.
Yeah, I find it a little bit hard to like. I know how I feel, but it's a little bit hard to explain in words, I guess.
It's a feeling.
Yeah. So then we have a couple of more like problems, I guess, that people have when making friends with. Same creative passions, and one of them is I do not look like them, so I don't blend in. And I guess probably when you look at me, you can probably tell like, oh, that guy is like a creative dude or something. You know, like I dyed my hair blonde, and I dress a certain way, and you know, and I guess yeah.
You look different.
Yeah, I look.
You're not the standard.
I don't look like a regular
Yeah.
person, probably, and also I know there's a ton of people that look like me and stuff like that. So I don't mean like I don't mean to say that I'm special, but
No.
I dress a little bit differently than like a normal person, I guess.
If you see you walking down the street, you know you're not in an office.
Yeah,
Or
I'm not like
job.
a cleric or something. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, for some people, for some reason, like people can get intimidated by looks and by, I guess that's because they're judging a book by its cover, which is something like we just like talked about. You know, like they already judge based on how I look, that I probably do something creatively related for a living, or maybe like they don't even think that I do something properly for a living. You know, and I guess like I've been in both cases where like for example, I was at a party or a conference or something, and like there was a person that was like dressing like I thought he was looking better than me, like in terms of what he wore, and then I've noticed that I was kind of like feeling like a little bit intimidated, like wow, the guy looks better than me or something, you know, and I was like and I realized I was giving him like I was like looking at him, but I wasn't like smiling. I was kind of like unconsciously like giving him like a little bit of dirty looks. And then and I've also gotten like arrogant or mean looks, and then was when I realized like maybe they think the same way about me, like maybe they think that I dress like more alternative than them, or maybe like better, or I don't know, like, or maybe like I'm wearing something that they feel like not comfortable pulling off, or the way to fix it is, again, put yourself in the vulnerable state, like instead of like looking arrogantly to someone who dresses better than you, just walk up to them and say, oh wow, I like your outfit, where did you get it, or something, and you just force yourself to walk over there and compliment them on their outfit, or just saying, hey, I know I don't look like you or something, but I would love to talk to you about fashion because it's something that I am passionate about. Or maybe, and even if you don't want to like dress like them, you can also just say, hey, I love your outfit. Are you also like, are you a creative person or something? Or are you into fashion? Or are you maybe like a designer? It depends on where you are, obviously. But I like your outfit is a pretty good, solid conversation starter, and also puts you in that vulnerable state while giving them also like a compliment. Yeah,
but looks doesn't say, but like the way somebody's looking, it all doesn't show. The way somebody looks isn't always the way they are. Because like I don't really dress that's alternative. Yeah, definitely, and that's I think like and you are comfortable with that. Judge a book by its cover. Yeah, but you are comfortable with that. But I guess that's why I got this question so many times. I think that a lot of people are doing the same thing as you, but they're not like comfortable enough with it. Yeah, like I have 6 different styles. Yeah, definitely. I could be very girly, or you can also be like Dreadlabs-ish, I guess. It's like there's a song of Jenna Marbles where she sings, I think it's a TikTok right now. I got 3 looks: a homeless man, a 12-year-old boy, or a hooker. Okay. I will show it to you. Okay. So take your video saying, I'll put off my. I have blonde hair now. It has been there for like 2 weeks already, but I don't know if you're like a long time subscriber. I used to wear like I used to have blonde hair as well, like red hair of blue. Oh yeah, and there's 1 week where I had blue hair. Anyways, so I think purple will suit you as well. Purple hair. Yeah, I thought about it. Maybe if I have more subscribers, like how YouTubers, when they become big, they always do like better, like different hair colors. Yeah, you have the money for that then. Yeah, and like sorry, just a fly here. The whole day. Anyways, so Tin is saying it's hard for introverts or shy people to compliment people, to be honest. I know. I am also an introvert, and that's the thing. Like all of the tips that we've given so far, like it's always like walking up to someone, walking up to multiple people, and I know that's very, very hard, and it's something that you have to force onto yourself, because it will be. I will guarantee you that in the end it will be so rewarding. Like and I know why it's hard as well, because you are an introvert or because you're shy, you are vulnerable. But if you be clear about it and let people know that you are vulnerable and putting yourself out there, they will. Yeah, I guess they will appreciate that. Like they will appreciate the fact that you are putting yourself out there, and it will reward itself. I will promise you that. Yeah, I did challenge myself. I think last year when COVID wasn't there, to give every day 3 compliments. To someone like on the street. Yeah, or someone in school or in work, or And so you can train also start it. You can also start with people you already know. Yeah, it's just small things. Yeah, hey, you look nice today. You have a nice outfit on today. Yeah, or, have you lost weight? No. Every day. Yeah. Then Dawson is saying, I know it's a little bit cliche, but when I was younger in my 20s, now in my late 30s, alcohol was always a good ice-breaking mechanism. I know not everyone drinks it. I agree. I also, like, I drink a fair amount of alcohol, and if you are at a conference, like I was talking about dance fair earlier, right? Mm-hmm. There was this like guy. It was like a pretty big DJ,
and we were kind of like we know we were able to.
It was Martin Garrix.
He's been there like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I've met him there a couple of times, but it wasn't Martin Garrix. Anyways, so he basically like we wanted to share some of our own demos. We wanted to hear him, but I was like super nervous, and like at the time we had a manager who was just also a friend of ours, but he was like in a managing role, I guess, right? So he just walked away for a second and just came back with like 3 beers. And so like, okay, we're gonna finish these beers, and then we're not gonna drink anymore. But we're gonna walk up to them and like start talking, and that really helps as well. Like it's it takes the edge off a little bit. But beware, like don't get drunk, because then like you'll leave a different impression, I guess, right?
Yeah. And everybody reacts different. Like I get shy and quiet when I drink. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get like very, very outgoing and extrovert.
I know. I like the opposite.
Yeah, but yeah, it can help. And then
it's not our advice to start drinking, but
no, but you could use it as a last resort, I guess. So there's also we're talking about like the very positive outcome, but then there's also people who will gatekeep interest. And for example, like I remember like there was this the Gunpla store that I was talking about earlier. There was like a guy there, like a second or third time I was there, and I was just browsing there, and then like we got to talking for some reason or whatever, and I just like grabbed one of the boxes, and he was like, "Oh, you're getting that one?" Like super, like, "Oh, you should know that edition is like really crappy," and like he was like kind of like,
yeah, who cares?
Starting to judge me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know that yet," and it was like, "Oh, you don't even know that," or something. It was like he wasn't really saying it literally, but he was like insinuating it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I literally just said to him like, "But I just buy the ones that I think look cool," and you could just see that he was like, he just went like this, like, okay, like, so yeah, but then yeah, I guess like. I don't know, like if it would make me a fake Gunpla lover or a poser or whatever, who cares? Like I enjoy building Gunpla.
Why are you
and I
a
enjoy.
poser if you?
Yeah, like obviously it's not that way, but like he will like that person was feeling it that way, and
he was judging you.
Yeah, he was judging me, and also based on my looks, maybe like.
Yeah, maybe.
And there's like. I don't know. I was like, I'm just glad that we have the same interests, and I just asked him like, which kid are you getting or whatever, and anyways, like I was putting myself out there, and sometimes person will still be like, maybe he wasn't like an asshole, but he was not like pleasant. It was not a pleasant like meaning, and it happens as well, and sometimes it just happened to. If someone will still be like an asshole to you, then it's not meant to be, and that happens sometimes, and that's okay. You don't have to be friends with anyone, I guess, right?
With everyone, not anyone.
You don't have to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just leave the gatekeepers aside, and even if let's say that you meet like a gatekeeper 3 times when you're putting yourself out there, maybe like see if you can go somewhere else, or maybe like. There's always people there, but keep on trying, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to let gatekeepers ruin something that you are working on by yourself. Then, like, I guess there's one more thing, and that's like I didn't get that question, but I can imagine that some people will have that thought, and that's. What if I tried everything that you and Gabi talked about today, and it's still not working, or I can still not find anything, or I don't have enough money to move somewhere or go somewhere, or too young to do something?
You will stay lonely. That's our answer.
No. Yeah, we have one more, like, or maybe you also had a couple more tips, and then I'll let you talk about those in a bit. So online friendships are still a thing, and there's subreddits like Need a Friend, and like if you can, most of the advice that we've given today was like, I guess you can also just apply that to online friendships as well, you know. And for example, for Dreadlabs, I have a Discord with I think around 1,200 members or something. Most of those are designers or musicians, maybe even both. Pretty much creative people like you and me, into kind of the same niche. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in. This person wouldn't be in the Dreadlabs Discord, I guess. But I see a lot of new members on the server make a certain mistake, and that's what we've also talked about today. Only talking about their own favorite topic. And what's everyone's favorite topic again?
Themselves.
Definitely.
Themselves.
Yeah. So what I see happening is a lot of people join the Discord server, don't go over the rules, but that's another thing. Just dive straight into the promo channel and start like sharing their own Instagram profile links, and then like never respond to anything again, and just keep lurking. And that's also fine, you know. Like I'm not forcing you to be an active member on the server or whatever, but it's not a way that you can make friends easily.
No.
And
if you're only looking for.
And you're only talking about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
why would anybody listen to that?
Yeah, and the cool thing is, and I feel like a couple of members have this on the server, which are really active, like responding to a lot, giving other people feedback, asking people, hey, how's it going? What are you working on this week? Sharing their favorite music, or talking about artists that they like, or whatever, you know. And I'll just give one example, and I might be a little bit wrong there, but Archfiend, he's a moderator on the Discord, and I feel like because he's so active on the Dreadlabs server, and perhaps maybe on a couple of other servers, because he's so active there and talking to a lot of people there, like people actually start following him on Instagram and start like looking up to him and starting conversations with him. And because he's an active member who talks like in both directions, just he doesn't only talk about himself, he also talks to other people, gives other people feedback, stuff like that. And because he is acting like that online, I feel like he also gets a following online. So it's not only like beneficial if you're if you want to become friends with someone, but it's also beneficial if you want to get a bigger network, or, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really helps, and it can be a lot more valuable as well, because then the Discord actually has value, and maybe you can even start getting on video calls or voice calls or whatever, and
exchange numbers, even just message each other.
Yeah, and maybe in the end, like DJ talked about in the chat earlier in the stream, you'll end up meeting them in person, and something beautiful can grow out of it. Yeah, and you also had a couple of things. I think you had like a couple of apps or something where you could...
No, I don't know the names, but I was talking to you, like you have some apps where you can find friends.
Yeah. And
I've noticed one time when I was on Tinder, before I met you, there was a girl, and I only had men, and she set her gender as man. And in her bio she said, I'm not looking for a relationship, but I'm just looking for some nice girls. So these are my hobbies.
Yeah.
Do you want to get a drink soon? So she was just looking for friends, and I think yeah,
that's pretty cool. And
yeah, but I know you have apps for that.
Yeah, the thing
so
is, like, if you're using the wrong platform, then then something.
I was like,
Yeah, you probably don't like get in touch with someone like that. But if there's probably like apps for that.
Yeah, it is. They are. I just don't know the name.
Yeah, and the apps. But yeah, and like I said, there's also like a Reddit platform which is called like what was it again?
I Need Friends. Sorry, something.
Need a friend, I think. And then you could just literally like that's something that probably goes wrong on that server as well. Like a lot of people post on that thing with it, like, hey, my name is Tom, I'm 25 years old, and I'm into graphic design, video games, whatever. And then just they get a couple of comments, and that's that. But then they don't browse that like page themselves.
Yeah.
And that's again, like, a conversation goes both ways, and a friendship goes both ways. So keep that in mind, even when you want to do like preserve like online friendships.
You have to keep contact, and I'm very bad at it. But
that's okay. But still, like, it's you still maintain the friendships. You know.
I saw a post this week that it's because of my.
You're because you're like a Taurus. Or
a Taurus. They're very hard to keep in contact. But it's okay. So.
Anyways, what's up, Eddie? Yeah, you're a little bit late. We just covered like all of the points that we written down. But anyways, if anyone in the chat has any questions to us about like how to make friends with someone with a creative passion
or tips
maybe for other people to share, yeah, let us know in the chat and we'll try to discuss it a little bit longer. In the meantime, yeah, we'll give a quick overview of what we've talked about so far. So yeah, if you're living in a small town, lower your standards, see if you can go out of your town, or maybe like lower your standards and start searching for stuff that isn't like the exact same creative like thing as you. Maybe like if you're into like, I don't know, a certain electronic music genre, see if there's any music related stuff in your smaller town, or see if there's something in a couple towns over. And if not, you can also try to find like conferences or events or something, and maybe that's even in a bigger city. But yeah, if you try to attend there, you could probably meet a couple of people who at least have like some similar interests as you. And then there's also like, if you find it hard to keep a conversation or walk up to someone and start a conversation, just put yourself in a vulnerable state, and just, like, start a conversation asking about them, so they will have something to talk about to you, and you can listen, and then you can ask questions based on what they've told you, and then eventually you'll start talking about yourself as well. Don't worry. And yeah, I know it's scary, especially if you're an introvert or awkward or shy. Yeah, if you let people acknowledge the fact that you are putting yourself out there and you're saying like, oh, I'm new here, or hey, I'm looking for some musician friends or designer friends or whatever, or you know, like, just like share with people what your intentions are by being at a certain like conference or event or whatever, and that will probably help, and they will probably appreciate it a little bit more, and it will be less awkward. And then again, if you get like weird looks because you don't blend in or something, again, just like walk up to someone, compliment them on how they look or whatever, and then leave the gatekeepers aside. And even if all of this doesn't work in real life, you can always try the internet with these same principles. Yeah, and then also, like, if you are just tuning in, you can just watch the podcast back, or maybe listen to it later on Spotify to get all of the tips in one go. And in the meantime, DJ is saying, I also think it's important to not focus on friends at the end of the day. Be you, post your work, be active in groups. The more, yeah, definitely. Like, you cannot just ask someone to be your friend, you know, stuff like that has to happen organically.
Yeah.
And like you say, if you are being like that, and if you try to be like that social self, you will attract people to you.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, guys, if you still have any questions for us, maybe even not about like, we're just chilling here on the podcast. So if you have any other questions or something you want us to talk about, just let us know in the chat. And
we love talking.
We love talking.
I love talking.
We have a little bit of time left here, and
out of focus. Oh no, I'm back.
Oh yeah, this is also the first time we are using the camera, which I'm really happy with. It's so much better than the iPhone camera.
I'm
right?
so red.
Yeah, you're still a little bit hungover, right?
Yeah, red. I'll go take a nap later.
Yeah, you're off the hook after the podcast. And
I'm
this
on
Friday,
vacation, so I'm having vacation.
Yeah, you're living your best life. You went to eat sushi 2 days ago. Yesterday you went for a high wine.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
The whipped cream shots.
Yeah.
Which camera is it?
It's the Canon EOS M200. It's a fairly like cheap alternative for like a system camera, I guess. And I wanted to have a Canon because I feel like they're kind of like balanced between like photography and video. Whereas I think Sony is a little bit more into video, and like Nikon is a little bit more into photography. But I'm not a camera like guru. It's just what I've seen in like a couple of reviews and some advice from friends.
And this has like the turning screen, isn't it?
Yeah, you can flip the screen. So we can go
vlogging.
Yeah, this is actually like made for vloggers and stuff like that.
Do you guys want to see us vlogging sometimes?
Yeah, there's actually like a kind of like a vlog coming where I just like show you guys my setup. Well, I was just testing the new camera, and I just show you guys what like the stuff on my desk looks like. You know, what specs my computer has and stuff like that. So Eddie is asking, school can also be good to... Yeah, definitely.
That's how I meet all my friends.
Yeah. And
I have 2 friend groups, and I met them both on school.
Yeah. And the cool part is, like, if there is like creativity related education as well, you know, like there's event organizing, there's graphic design, there's music, there's like so much to do. And if you want to make a career out of it, or like I said earlier in the stream, that if you want to just follow a minor for 6 months, you can do that without like following like a full-on like bachelor's degree. And I still talk to some of these people that I met on there regularly. 1 or 2 of which I'm like actually like working together now with. So yeah, that's really cool. So Lolo Edwards is asking, are you connected to the stream? I'm using like a dummy battery to keep it like from running and not drying out like the actual battery. And then there's a USB, like I use like a capture card, which goes through the like HDMI and then into USB.
So we can also film games on the Switch.
Yeah, I also bought a second capture card so we can start doing Switch games on Twitch. So yeah.
Animal Crossing content.
Yeah, we still like it's like a little bit hectic at the moment, but it would be cool to start like Dreadlabs gaming on Twitch. You know, if people are interested in that. I've done one like Minecraft stream, but it wasn't really like that big because I haven't really promoted it, and I need to do it a little bit more. But anyways, there's something for the future, I guess. Yeah, I think the setup video might go online this Monday or something, probably like somewhere like that.
Nice of you just looking at me like I know that. You're looking, yeah, I think Monday. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you have no clue what I'm talking about, right?
No, I know the video.
So let's see what. So the videos that I have planned for now is like I'm gonna work on FL Studio this Friday on a live stream. Then the setup video is coming on Monday. Then on Wednesday, no. Like I think the starting a clothing brand video is going online on Monday. Then on Wednesday, the setup video is coming, and I'm doing a graphic design session next Friday, which is the last one before we're having holiday. And then I will plan out a couple of like tutorial videos. I hope to do like 3 videos a week, and I just plan it in. I cannot do live streams because we will be on holiday. But yeah, that's a little bit on how the planning on Dreadlabs, the YouTube channel, looks like. So Dusty Music is asking how old we are.
Oh, 23.
And I'm 25.
23. I need to think.
Yeah, I started losing track when I was like 21 or something.
I was thinking you were gonna say when I was 12. It was a hard year.
I wasn't able to count it on like 2 hands anymore. So. Definitely, like Eddie, doesn't even have to be like a creative or art related school.
No.
My school was like kind of like technical.
Yeah, because if you like your study, you always have like a connection.
Yeah, and if you have people to talk to, you can always like ask them about if they are creative or whatever. Yeah.
Or maybe you like their hobbies.
Definitely. And that's a cool way. Like I sometimes just forget like, oh, there's other people can also influence me to get a new hobby. You know, like. And I've gotten so many hobbies in the past couple of years. Like I was just like the other day I was just counting, and like I used to do like music and graphic design, right? And then like fashion, like a little bit on the side. And now I feel like
sorry,
no worries. Plants. We have like so many plants now, and it has become like an actual thing.
On the background, a few.
So you know, like we propagate our plants. We basically like keep. We try to do like as much stuff as possible. We also have like a little garden outside where we planted some plants, flowers, and
next year I want to have a food garden. Are you sure?
Oh yeah, we want to have like what is that word?
Yeah. Like with the veggies and herbs.
Yeah, we want to grow our own herbs and vegetables.
Yeah.
And it's called a kitchen garden.
I don't think it's the name.
I don't know. It's just we will we will
kitchen garden.
We're growing our own like
tomatoes
and stuff like that.
Watermelon.
So
avocado.
Dusty Music. You can find the Discord link to the Discord in the description of this live stream, by the way. And then there's also another hobby that I have, and it's like is building Gunpla, which is building like the plastic models. Like these guys. And then you got into diamond painting.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
did
also
one.
like a very fun exercise.
And last week we bought some new.
Yeah, we've
stuff
got
for
two new hobbies. Yours was like they're called marbles.
Iron
No, those are not
marbles?
marbles, but
Iron marbles, I guess.
yeah, you did. It's like an iron-on patch thing, I guess.
We don't have iron, so.
Yeah, we still have to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like what we did as kids.
Yeah, it's
You
like
can make
it's almost like real life pixel art.
I've never seen it on internet, like outside of the Netherlands. So I don't know. It's
Let me see this.
It's an international.
Oh, it's called iron-on beads, I think. So if you guys know that. Then there's also.
I'm curious if you have it in your country.
Yeah, it's I think so. It has to be. Yeah.
The photos.
Anyways, then we have what's another hobby that we
The rock thefting. You want to?
Oh
Start?
yeah, I want to start doing rock thefting. So I just bought a small sheet, and I was like, let's see if I can do something with that.
Gaming.
Then there's video games. Obviously, we tried to do a couple of like games together. And then there's also I also started getting into like more physical electronic music, like analog synthesizer stuff like that. Then there was another thing. Yeah, I started collecting books and collecting vinyl, and I want to get like I don't even have a record player, but I already started collecting vinyl. But yeah, that's something that I want to get into as well. I feel like we're forgetting one.
Cooking.
Yeah, you have cooking or cooking and baking.
Yeah. Last year when we started living together, I think before that I liked baking. And now I'm starting to like cooking even more.
Yeah.
Because when I was living on my own, I only had to cook for myself.
Yeah, but now you're actually cooking for multiple people.
Yeah, and then I was like, I need this
herb.
Never mind, I'm not gonna get it because it's only for me. So
yeah. So yeah, those are like a couple of our hobbies.
Maybe we should do a cooking video one time. I don't know if that's.
I feel like it would be pretty cool to start but it's like a lot of work. So maybe if we have something more automated, but Dreadlabs hobbies, like doing the Gunpla cooking, plant stuff,
Dreadlabs
like all of that on one channel, Yeah. Or maybe like on the vlog.
You will see my face. I think very often.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we're gonna wrap it up for now because it's kind of like off topic, I guess. But just to give you some inspiration on what new hobby to pursue, I guess.
Start cooking.
Oh, painting. You also paint.
Of course. Yeah, we already talked about it.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways, guys. So before we end it off, I just want to thank everyone who is a patron for Dreadlabs. So if you don't know, I have a Patreon channel which I've already talked about earlier in the stream, but. If you want to become a patron, you'll get access to all of the project files from my tutorials, a 15% discount in my Dreadlabs Asset Web Store, and a Discord role with an exclusive channel there. There's also a tier up where you can find out how I create a clothing brand fully from scratch, and you can learn all about it, from like designing to fabrics to ways of printing to starting a web shop, everything like that. You can learn about it, and if you subscribe to it, you'll get 2 videos like that a month. So yeah, there's that. If you can also become a part of our Dreadlabs Minecraft multiplayer server, if that's something you are into. I think that's everything you can become with the Patreon. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe because it will really help me out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can join us on Discord and start keeping the conversation there, and maybe even start getting new friends there. At least I hope so.
Yeah.
Remember, a conversation comes both ways, so do not only share your Instagram on the Discord. Try also to engage in conversations with other people, ask what they are about. I think that really helps. And
maybe I will become more active on your Discord.
Yeah?
Maybe.
If you want to get new friends online, that's probably like a nice way to get started. And this turn, what's up? You're a little bit late because we're just ending it off. But you can just watch it back immediately because this live stream will be available on YouTube and later also on Spotify. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
It becomes like a lot to say, right? Like
Yeah.
I remember when it was like like and subscribe or something,
Yeah.
and then the Patreon came along, then the extra Patreon tiers became a thing, and anyways, there's a lot of things to plug, but they're all in the description, so feel free to read the description, and I guess we'll see you in a new video somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
So thank you guys for watching. This was Tom and Gabi from Dreadlabs tuning out.
Yeah.
And
Bye.
we'll see you in the next video or podcast or somewhere, I guess.
Online.
Yeah. Anyways, bye-bye, guys. See you.